Before you say yes to courtship, pause. This is not because marriage is bad, nor is it because love is wrong. It's because covenant decisions deserve clarity. Some of you are about to say yes because you feel pressure. Pressure from age, pressure from family and friends, pressure from the society, from church culture, or even fellowship culture. Or you're feeling pressured because this guy or this lady looks serious. Let me say this gently and clearly. Marriage will either multiply your peace or multiply your stress. And who you marry will determine how you will pray for the rest of your life. So before you say yes, let's examine what truly matters. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Adeshola Akiade, and on this channel we talk about godly relationships, biblical courtships, and kingdom marriage principles. Also, allow me add that if this video resonates with you at any point, kindly like, share, and subscribe. God bless you. So let's begin. The first thing that you need to examine is to check whether they are truly a believer, whether they truly know the Lord. This is not about whether they go to church. This is not about whether they feel Christianity when asked their religion. They feel Christianity in forms. This is not about that. You want to check whether they are truly surrendered to Christ, whether they are truly accountable, whether they truly love the Lord. You want to check for the fruit of the Spirit in them. You're not checking for churchgoers. You're checking to see whether the life of Christ is evident in their lives. The Bible says in 2 Corinthians 6:14, it says, do not be unequally yoked. And unequally yoked does not mean don't marry anyone from another religion. It's not just that. You want to check whether this person who claims to be a Christian, whether this person truly is a believer. There are a lot of people bearing the title of Christianity that are not believers. So because of that, you want to check for the fruits. You want to check for the fruits. Do not be deceived. The church is like an hospital. In an hospital, you will see different people. You will see nurses, doctors, sick patients. You will see those that are responding to treatment, those that are not. So don't be deceived and encourage yourself into picking the wrong person because you met them in church. You want to know whether the life of Christ is really evident in their lives, whether they really believe Jesus and are surrendered to Jesus. So don't be unequally yoked. And this is the baseline. This is the foundation. Every other thing that I'll say here is built upon this foundation. If you're checking for the qualities, the characteristics, and everything you're checking does not have this, you're building on a sand. And when the wind blows, it will blow it away. So this is the foundation. This is the baseline. Pastor Mildred will always share this example that if you, as a physical human being, will not go to a morgue or a mortuary to marry a dead person, why do you think it is okay to do that as a spiritual person? Because that is what people who say, oh, it does not matter what the religion is, so long it's nice. It does not matter whether he really attends church or really knows the Lord, so long he's caring. That's what you are doing. You are marrying a spiritually dead person. You're choosing a spiritually dead person. You both don't share the same father. You don't share the same nature. Your core beliefs are not the same. Your core beliefs are not the same. She will also always add this example that, when you get married, your in-laws are allowed to visit your house. They will visit and they will come bearing gifts. And in your case, if you marry an unbeliever, you marry someone who does not believe in the Lord Jesus, your father-in-law is the devil. And when your father-in-law comes, he will come bearing his own gifts of hatred, malice, jealousy, strife. He will come with his gifts. And you can't tell your father-in-law that, oh, you can't enter the house. He's your in-law. You have to allow him. So don't start something that you cannot finish. This is the foundation. If this person is not a believer, it should not even be a subject for discussion. It should not be a subject for consideration. You should not consider him. There is nothing to pray about. There is nothing to think about. No, I can't do this. I cannot be with you You are not a believer. There's nothing to think about. It is the foundation. Also, hope you know that you're not just choosing a husband for yourself or a wife for yourself, but the father of your children and the mother of your children. And it is what they believe that they will pass on to your children. It is. And one of the aim of a kingdom marriage, one of the purposes of a kingdom marriage is raising godly seeds. And believe me, doing that will be harder and very difficult when you're raising them in a confused environment where the children don't know whether it is mosque we are going to today or it is church, or where they don't have a personal experience with the Lord because the parents are either not serious or one of the parents is not serious or one of the parents is of a different religion. You don't want to do that. Think about your legacy. So don't just think about yourself. Think about your legacy. Think about your legacy. So this is the foundation. It's the baseline. If it's not there, there's nothing we are talking about. If it's not there, it's a quick no. There's nothing I'm praying about. The foundation is not there. Before we move to the second factor to be examined, allow me to talk about Genesis 2:18 to 23 for a bit. And what happened in these verses? God was saying, oh, it's not good for man to be alone. Let's make him a helper that is suitable for him. Another translation puts it as, let's make him a helper that is right for him. What then happened? God created animals, brought them to Adam. Adam named them. But the Bible records that, but for Adam, there was not found a helper suitable for him. What then happened? God caused a deep sleep upon Adam. He slept, took a rib, created Eve, and the story goes on like that. He recognized her. But my emphasis is verse 18 that talks about suitability. That there was not found a helper suitable. And God wanted to create a helper suitable. It's the suitability test that I'm concerned about. And that is what will lead me to tell you that the fact that the person is a believer, which is the baseline and the foundation, does not mean they are suitable for you. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Now we move to the second thing you need to examine, and this is character. Character. The rule is this: it is character over charisma. It's character over charm. It's character over beauty. It's character over talent. It's character over giftings. This person may be able to pray fire. Their songs may be so melodious in the choir, but it does not mean you should choose them if they do not have character. And how do you check for character? Check the fruits. Check for the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, patience, humility, self-control, meekness. Check for these things. How do they treat people? Are they accountable? When something happens, are they always blaming others? Do they talk bad about people? Check for the fruit of the Spirit in them, because if you've been in the church setting for long, you should be able to perform. You should be able to say some Christianese words. You've been in church for long, so you can perform. But what really lasts, and what really sustains relationships is character. That you can sing. It's not what will sustain the relationship. You won't sing forever in the house. You won't pray forever at home. So if your character is bad, it's terrible, you will have issues. If you are picking someone with a terrible character, you will have issues. So don't over spiritualize the matter of character. Check for it. If you don't check for it now, you will have to confront them later. Because marriage will amplify it. Whatever is there is what will be amplified. Marriage does not create anything new. It is what is there that will be amplified. So check for character. Now, let's talk about something we don't preach enough in churches, but which is important in relationships. And what is it? It's emotional maturity. Emotional maturity. Listen to me. You can fast for 40 days and still be emotionally unstable. You can pray in tongues and still be toxic. Being spiritual, as we know it, is not the same as being emotionally healthy because true spirituality has in it emotional intelligence. So check when they are angry or when there's a disagreement or a conflict, how do they handle it? Are they the type to communicate? Are they the type to explode in anger? Are they the type to manipulate and gaslight you into thinking that something is wrong with you? You are the one at fault, that you almost start thinking you are crazy. Are they the type? Check. Because it's necessary. Whatever you don't confront now, you'll have to confront them later. So check. And let me add this. If you're an African, we are already at a disadvantage with respect to these emotions. We are already at a disadvantage. Let me explain why. In an average African home, it is not the norm to communicate your feelings or feelings. You suppress them. In an average African home, you suppress emotions. You hardly hear apologies. You hear them tell you sorry. You hardly hear it. And when there is conflict, it's always loud. Neighbors will know. It's always very loud. All of that is a dysfunction. You are taught to be comfortable in a dysfunction. And that dysfunction is what you take into adulthood. Because in an average African home, if your parents are talking to you, or your siblings, your elderly siblings especially, are talking to you, you are not expected to say anything. The response should be, all right, ma'am, all right, sir. I've heard you. You keep your thoughts to yourself, keep your feelings to yourself. And that teaches you something. It teaches you that your emotions you should not talk about your feelings. You should not communicate them. It teaches you to bottle things up. It teaches you to suppress things. And when you suppress feelings for too long, you will implode until you explode. That then becomes your own pattern. That when there's a disagreement, you start exploding because you were taught wrongly. So I'm saying for you, unlearn to, because you need it. The average African needs to unlearn many things we picked up while growing up. I'm not saying this so you can sympathize with anybody. I'm saying it so you can work on yourself and know what to check in this person. So don't sympathize with anybody. Check for the signs. Ensure that this person, to a large extent, is emotionally mature because you will need it in a relationship. Even when there is love, if emotional maturity is missing, the end of it is that you will be exhausted when you always have to explain yourself, when you are always saying sorry even when you don't understand why you are saying sorry, when you are always being manipulated, you will be exhausted. So love is not enough. Check for emotional maturity. Moving on, let's address another topic many churches whisper about. And this is our fourth point. What is it? It's money. Money. Owo, kudi, ego. Whatever it is in your language, money. Some of you think talking about money is unspiritual, that it's carnality. But poverty is not proof of humility. And financial irresponsibility is not faith. Don't get me wrong. You do not need a millionaire, but you need maturity. You do not need a wealthy partner, but you need a responsible one. So check. And financial stability means that number one, they can manage money wisely. They understand budgeting. They are not drowning in reckless debts. They have a vision for provision. They are not lazy. So check and ask questions. If you're in Nigeria, you should know by now that love does not pay rent. It will not buy diapers. It does not fund school fees. So ask yourself questions. Do they have financial discipline? Do they have a growth plan? Or are they the type who keep believing that God will provide, yet they refuse to work? Ask and check. Ask and check. The Bible says in Proverbs that a wise person plans ahead. Preparation matters. Financial preparation matters. In fact, statistics have shown that financial conflict is one of the leading causes of marital breakdown. So you want to be prepared in that area. You want to be prepared in that area. Imagine loving someone deeply, but every time you need to pay rent, the rent is late. Every time you need to pay school fees, it's not available. You will argue unnecessarily and you argue repeatedly. And the reason for all of that argument, all of the tension, is not because love is not existing. It's because there was no preparation. So don't take this point lightly. It's necessary. For men, provision is even deeply connected to their identity. So when a man lacks financial direction, you see him displaying traits of insecurity, being very frustrated, and it's not because this man is a wicked man or is evil. It's what the pressure does to you. And before you think, oh, I'm a lady, I'm a woman, this does not concern me, it does concern you. Because financial instability for a woman, what it does, one of the things it does is that you see the women carrying silent resentment. And a major reason for that is because she will look back and she will realize that, oh, I've not been living my best life because of financial pressure. Because I've been living from hand to mouth. You've not been living your best life. It also affects respect. Because having money earns you respect. Respect among your in-laws, respect in the society, respect even with your husband. So it's not something you should trivialize. There should be a plan. And I'm not talking about potential. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about someone that can cook up a lot of dreams, yet is not working on anything. That you can't, there's no track record. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a plan that you can see the track record. It's obvious. It's a pattern. It's not just potential and big dreams. It's already working. There's something on ground that you both can work with. So check for it, please. Check for it. And to summarize these points, do not marry potential without discipline because faith does not replace responsibility. The fifth factor that you need to consider before you say yes to courtship is compatibility and vision. Amos 3:3 says, can two work together except they agree? Ecclesiastes 4:9 says, two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. Let me say this here. Some two are not better than one. Some two are better as one. Just stay on your lane. Just stay on your lane. The reason is because of the factors that we examined earlier, not sharing the same faith, character issues, emotional immaturity. It may be because of those factors. Others is because they don't agree. They cannot agree. They don't see eye to eye on matters. It's because of alignment. And alignment matters in relationships. That you both see alike, it matters in relationships. It is what sustains the relationship and keeps it going long term. This does not mean that you both are in the same field or you both are in the same career. This does not, it just means that you see alike on matters. It means you see alike on matters. You have a similar direction. So ask real questions. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? It may surprise you that this person or where this person sees himself or herself is very and totally different from the things God has shown you about your life. You can easily know that, oh, this is not the person for me. We don't see alike on these matters. How many children do you want to have? Some people put off this question till they start courting. I don't see any issue with you asking it early on. Ask the questions. Do you have any relocation plans? What are your thoughts on gender roles? What does submission means to you? Because when you hear some people talk about submission, you just know that this is slavery. It's not biblical. This is not what the Bible is saying. What does leadership means to you? Some don't have a good and a biblical understanding of what leadership is. Ask questions and don't just get their descriptions. Don't just allow them use English words to describe what they are saying, to explain what they are saying. Tell them to give you examples. Tell them to paint scenarios so that you can experience it in real time and know whether this is the one for you, or you still have to find another. So ask questions, please. Ask questions. This will help you know whether you're compatible and whether you see alike. Additionally, ask questions as regards medical history. Ask it now that feelings have not gotten so heightened, that you can still reason to a large extent logically. Ask questions with regards to medical history, blood type, genotype, fertility issues. Ask questions. This will help you know whether this is something you should go into, or something you should just hold back on, or something you have enough faith to carry, or enough money to handle. It will help you know and help you prepare. So ask these questions. Now, let's talk about the sixth factor you need to consider before you say yes to courtship. And this particular point is one that many church folks over spiritualize, which later backfires in the marriage. What is it? It's attraction. Attraction. Attraction matters. Not more than character, but it matters. Let's be honest. Song of Solomon exists in the Bible for a reason. God created attraction. It's not carnality. In marriage, there's sexual intimacy, and God created that desire for your spouse. It is God's design. Let me even explain it from the angle of the two genders that we have, that's the male and the female. For a man, attraction really, really matters because men are more visually responsive, they are moved by what they see. So, in a situation where it is absent, totally absent, the desire for the spouse or for that partner, it will weaken. It won't be there. Temptations will increase. That's when you'll be seeing unnecessary comparisons, which will be affecting the self-esteem of the woman involved. The bonding will suffer. For a woman, because I know for women, we are more emotionally wired, we are more moved emotionally. So for a woman, emotional security is it's the one that strengthens that desire. But baseline attraction should still exist. Baseline attraction should still exist. I know he's a good man. I know they told you he's a good man. But do you desire him? Do you desire him? Because if you don't, in marriage, sexual intimacy will feel like an obligation. It will always feel like an obligation. I know there is dutiful sex, there's beautiful sex, but for you, who is not drawn to his or her partner, it will always feel like an obligation. And in those instances, resentment will grow. Resentment will grow. You'll have unnecessary issues. Am I saying attraction cannot grow? No, I'm not saying that. Attraction can grow, but ensure it exists in seed form. Don't enter a relationship hoping that the chemistry will magically appear. Ensure there's something you guys are working with. In fact, in counseling sessions, when couples who have been married for a while, when they come for counseling and the issue is that, oh, I'm no longer drawn to my partner, when that is the issue, what the counselors do and try to do is to take them back to the past, to take them back to that experience, to take them back to all of the things they used to do for each other that made them so in love with each other. So they take them back to the beginning so they can remember how it has been. But you, that there is no beginning, there was nothing, it becomes harder. It becomes harder. So what do you do when someone, a guy for instance, proposes to you and you don't like him, you're not drawn to him? Or your friends or family members are telling you about this lady, she's a good woman, she's this, she's that, but you're not drawn to her. What should you do? Especially if you are convinced that you should be with them. Because I need to add that. What should you do? Here is what you should do. Tell them honestly that you're not attracted to them, but you are willing to give it a try and allow the attraction build. And this is not that you both will enter a relationship or start a relationship. Rather, it is that you both will be friends. You both will be friends intentionally. Give it a time frame, 2 months, 3 months. After this period, if nothing comes up, if no attraction surfaces, that's the end of it. And let me add, if you are convinced that God will have you be with this person, pray about it. You serve a God that answers prayer. Pray about it. Tell God, because He sees you. I'm not drawn to this man. I'm not attracted to this woman. Put the attraction there. After all of these prayers, after all of this friendship, if nothing surfaces, move on. You don't have to continue. End it. Move on. Don't say no. And for a man that is still looking at the woman, don't go ahead with the proposal. Moving on to the seventh thing and the seventh factor you ought to consider before you say yes to courtship is red flags. Red flags. And understand this. Red flags are not prayer points. Red flags are warning signs. They are not prayer points, they are warning signs. So you see that this person is abusive, maybe verbally or physically. You are being warned. This person is very, very dishonest. Their black is always white. Their white is always gray. They are very, very dishonest. You are being warned. This person has addiction issues and they are not accountable about it. You are being warned. You are seeing signs of extreme jealousy or isolation tactics. And this one, I think I need to talk about this a bit because women are the ones that fall victim of this one the most. Isolation tactics. You start hearing the woman say, it's because he loves me. It's because he cares for me. That's why he does not want me to talk to my friends. He does not want me to talk to my family members so I can have his time. And so he can have my time. It's you chug it up and summarize it and you put everything under romance while you're being isolated. Because a time will come when you will need the help of these people. But because this man has isolated you from your helpers, you won't be able to cry out for help. You sent them all packing. Check for these signs. A lack of accountability is a red flag. Someone that is not teachable is a red flag. Check for all of these things. Don't ignore them. Don't ignore them. And lastly, which is our eighth point and eighth factor, is conviction and discernment. Conviction and discernment. And this is where I will ask you questions like, have you prayed about it? Are you convinced that you should be with this person? And why am I saying this? Your convictions will be your anchor during tough times, in tough seasons, in seasons where you don't even understand your partner. They will be what will keep you going. Your convictions. So pray about it. Don't just go based on your head knowledge. Don't just go based on what you've seen and observed. There's more to life than what your physical eyes can see. So make sure God is involved. Make sure you're discerning aright. And in your prayers, pray against every form of emotional blindness so that you can see clearly, you can discern aright. And that if this is not God's will, if God's hand is not there, it disrupts it early. You want to add those prayers to your prayer. Allow me add also that God leads by peace. He will lead you by peace. If you are feeling anxious about this person, if your mind is not settled about this person, pause. Don't take any other step, just pause. Colossians 3:15 says, let the peace of God rule over your hearts. God leads with clarity and peace, not with anxiety. If you are anxious, pause. That's not the time to take any step. Just pause, get clarity. And it is the way he has been talking to you that he will still talk to you about a decision as important as marriage. He will not use another channel. So wait and hear. Be led by God. Let me add here that all of these points and all of these factors are conjunctive. They work together hand in hand. So you don't come tomorrow to say, I received someone from God, or there's someone that is a believer, but is an obvious red flag, and you are not sure whether you should go on with this person. God desires peace for you. God desires peace for you. This person is an obvious red flag. This person is not for you. Don't be deceived. They work together, they are conjunctive. In conclusion, before you say yes to courtship, ask yourself this question. If nothing about this person changes, can I live with this version for life? So, my dear, do not marry potential, marry patterns. Do not marry pressure, marry peace. Don't ignore wisdom and call it faith. Choose well. Because marriage will either amplify your destiny or complicate it. Next week, we'll be addressing a topic that has confused many believers. And what is this topic? Does God personally choose your spouse for you? And is there truly only one person for you? The concept of the one. We will examine what scripture actually teaches and bring clarity to a subject that has kept many people in fear, in fantasy, and in delay. See you next.